Well, hello, dear viewer. It's me. And it's time once more for another story. A continuation, actually, a part 3, which you already knew because you saw the title of the video. Why do I keep doing this? I guess it doesn't click in the moment. Either way, this is from Reddit user Mr. Bleh, a wonderful friend of ours. And this is The Lord of Dorkness, part 3. Attack of the Ableism, and souls apparently rot. Okay, so I have several questions, but I'm sure they may be answered through this. Let's find out together. Hi, Moonhorse.
Hey, baby.
Your videos have been helping me, in a way, realize how messed up my situation truly was. Well, I'm thankful that you trust us all enough to know these things, and that we're able to help you. This is definitely one interesting ride, so thank you again for sharing all of this. It's been nearly 1 month out, and things are starting to feel more clear. That's wonderful. I'm glad that you're starting to feel better. I'll start this story off with a warning. It contains a bit of ableism and forms of fear tactics. For context, this year and the years before, Blue had been adamantly against disabled people. Well, considering what kind of neo-friends he has, somehow that doesn't surprise me, little bastard that he is. He would claim that they went against nature and natural selection, a burden on society, and he also highly favored eugenics to thin out the sick and the weak. I fucking knew he would. What an absolute little piece of shit. Just because you can't handle someone being different than you doesn't mean that this is some sort of weak or horrible thing. It just means you need to learn how to grow a sense of empathy and a spine and actually take care of other people. God forbid you actually have to think of someone other than yourself. I myself am disabled. I have learning disabilities and a few other struggles due to a brain injury at birth. I also have learning disabilities, Mr. Below. I'm dyslexic. I don't know if everybody else knew that. I was diagnosed when I was really young. I mean, aside from the depression, I definitely have that, but it seems to be a lot better these days. But dyslexia is definitely still there. It's dyscalculia, to be specific. I'm actually a really, really big fan of reading. To Blue, though, I guess I was an exception, but I had to get over it and use the energy with my soul to heal it. What kind of fucking new age bullshit? He was also against medical intervention. For example, I would never donate an organ, nor do I advocate for it, because it's an enemy tactic and bad for the soul. I'm gonna be honest with you, that might have been the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. But, considering who it came from, that, you know. Apparently, if you're dying, then you need to die instead of using the wonders of medicine. Well, considering I've read several of this person's posts, and they have this whole nature should just take over the planet and get rid of all those silly humans ideals, I'm somehow not surprised they would be that backwards on science and basic medical practices. Now we're going to the more darker stuff, and this is a bit heavy, but it needs to be told. I think this is a cult tactic. Well, I'll definitely identify it if it is. I've read my share of interesting things. I'm also a big fan of like YouTube channels that talk about cults and how to deprogram them and stuff like that. It's pretty fascinating to me. My grandmother was close to 90 when she was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Oh, jeez. Of course, I told Blue, thinking he would be emotionally supportive. But I was wrong. He told me matter-of-factly that my grandmother's soul was rotting away. What the actual fuck? And was doomed to be taken by the Grey. Of course, he had told me the same thing before, when she was diagnosed with dementia, and her mind was having some difficulties. This guy just keeps finding new and special ways to infuriate me. This is fascinating. The sad thing is, I believed him. It caused me to avoid my grandmother, argue with her, and scared for her soul. We lived with her to care for her because she had taken care of all of us, and she deserves so much better than what I'd given her in her last few weeks. Because of Blue, I was so paranoid and scared. His nonstop talk about it had put me in a dark mentality that I never want to go back to. Another thing that he told me was that he was going to self-end, shall we say, before 60, so he wouldn't have his soul rot and be taken by the gray. He almost ordered me to do the same, and had convinced me to do the same at that age, but I now know it's all BS. To end it, cults, even small Discord ones, are extremely dangerous. Absolutely true. It's safer to study on your own with spirituality than fall into a trap. I hope my grandmother can forgive me. So, first off, I want to say that I'm sure that your grandmother does forgive you. You were not in control of your own faculties at this point. You were listening to this psychotic little David Koresh wannabe piece of shit. And as a lot of you know, in my grandmother's last, year, she also had dementia. And so things like this tend to hit home really hard with me. So the idea that this motherfucker could say shit like this, could tear apart someone's family for their own selfish gain because it's the soul rotting away, and it's like, shut the fuck up. There are no gray. There is no aliens. There is no demon whatever. It's not a thing. It's all in your fucking head. You want to feel special, so you made up some shit to make yourself feel special. This is a typical cult-like bullshit. It's always the leader has to be the most special. It's never that they do anything for anybody else. It's always them projecting onto other people, isn't it? Yeah. It's a fucking load, man. I cannot stand this kind of behavior. And this idea of, forcing you to believe the things that they believe by constantly repeating it or breaking you down and then love bombing or just things like that, that is absolutely cult behavior. Yes, that does fit the model, and it is 100% a thing. This person may not have the kind of, large following that major cults do, but this is still something. And considering I've seen the people who follow this person, I've seen what they say, I've read the comments, there's a lot of anti-Semitism and things like that in the comments of a lot of the stuff that's posted on their different websites. It is absolute garbage, and it is just fucking disgusting. I don't care if Blue gets mad about these stories or these videos or anything like that. I just do not give a shit. This vile, fucking putrid nonsense that they spew in order to seem superior, especially the support of fucking eugenics. Of course you would, you disgusting little monster. What a fucking asshole. James Rolfe always said it right. What a fucking asshole. Definitely agree with that sentimentality. Every story we hear, every continuation of this, makes me despise this person more and more. Just, no, it's fucking garbage. Everything that Blue spews out of his fucking mouth is garbage. So, yeah, fuck him. Or, as we usually say, unfuck him. He doesn't get to have fucks. Ever. Period. But Mr. Bleh, I'm really glad that you're out of this horrible, horrible headspace, out of this connection with these horrible people, and into a better, more productive place. I'm glad that things are getting better. I'm glad that you're feeling better, because you deserve to be happy. Anybody who tries to force you to be unhappy is a fucking asshole, and you shouldn't have to put up with them. Especially when they're a, douchebag like this fucker. So, I'm glad that you're actually getting better. I'm glad that you're surrounded by friends and family and people who care. I do believe that, I'm not a spiritual person, but if there is an afterlife, your grandmother knows what you went through and knows that it was not your fault. And knows that you do love and care and miss her very much. You're a good kid. I worry about you guys. All of you, just in general. The internet's a scary place. We laugh, we have fun, but there's legitimate monsters out there, so just be very careful, okay? And if you ever think that you're in a position that something like this is happening, some sort of actual, cult bullshit. We joke about being the moon cult. We're not a fucking cult. We're a bunch of assholes who just think this stuff is funny. But if you ever feel like you're actually in a position like that, seek help. Talk to people. No one ever can tell you that you're not allowed to be happy. Period. I love you guys so very much. Typical whatever YouTube outro, I don't care. The thing I do care about is take care of each other. Be safe out there, okay? I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you. I say that a lot, but I mean it. So, goodbye, everybody.